Hey there.
Hey, what's up, people?
Welcome back to our channel.
This is it.
We come today with an interesting series. I mean, it's interesting to us. I don't know what the fuck y'all think about it, but um, we're very excited that it got a season 3 and that season 3 recently came out on Netflix. So we are here to chit chat about said season 3.
And it's also available for you fans of the CW. I think what they do is it comes out regularly on the CW and then it gets released as a whole on Netflix.
Or still watches that fucking channel.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just gonna do this. So that's my dad.
And that's my kid. And we are.
Comic and Other Cons.
And today's episode, we're gonna talk about a show that we really love. It's got some good moments. It's got some endearing moments. It's got a lot of funny moments. All kind of crazy shit is happening on the show. And it's incredible that so much crazy shit happens on a show where the star of the show is blind. That's just the fucking miracle, and it's beautiful. And that show is In the Dark. So we'll give you a quick recap of season 1 and season 2, and then we'll go into our episode 1 of season 3. Why don't you kick it off, kid?
All right, so in season 1, we have our main character, Murphy, and she's blind. She's kind of a hot mess. She's like if Jessica Jones wasn't super strong and was blind, because I'm pretty sure she is all over the place with like drinking and fucking everybody.
Look, I think Murphy is super strong. She just get pretzel to bite you in the ass. That's what that's like the John Wick where old girl had the dogs and bite you right in the dick. So it's like that. So she is kind of super strong. Pretzel, dick, like that. So go ahead. Sorry.
Just for reference, we don't know that Pretzel can do that, but I'm sure it's definitely something on the list that we should hope to find out someday. So Pretzel is her seeing eye dog because Murphy is blind. So Pretzel pretty much goes with her everywhere. That's her her support animal, her guide dog. And basically she goes out, she smokes in the same corner with her friend, Tyson. And you can tell that they have a good relationship, but during the course of the first season, when they do flashback scenes, you can really discover how their friendship started, how they met, and how it developed. Murphy is one of those like hard nuts to crack in terms of like she doesn't open up very easily. So if she considers you a friend, like it's a for real thing.
And I'd like to say that as you mentioned earlier, Murphy was all over the place. She's all over the place for the whole thing. And my understanding is Murphy had a disability or a disease or something that she slowly started losing her vision. She was sighted.
Yeah.
And she started losing her vision. And apparently after she started losing her vision, she just said, fuck life and fuck everybody in life, literally. So Murphy would fuck anybody. Those draws just fell off regularly. She didn't care. She drank. She just didn't care because now she's like blind, so fuck it. But Tyson was the one thing that grounded Murphy once she befriended him. So, it was that relationship where she was all fucked up everywhere until she met him, and then they would talk outside and he would calm her down, as it were. So they had good heart-to-heart talks. And that was the one thing that really, mellowed her out, as it were, was him.
Right. So he dies. And basically the first season is spent figuring it out. She befriends a cop sort of in the beginning. She doesn't become friends with him until about halfway through, but he's investigating everything. And so she's kind of working with him to try to figure out what happened to her friend. She discovers that he has a daughter who also is blind, and they become very close. And basically, because we're not going to get into it, this is a short recap. So basically, it's found out that the cop, Dean, killed Tyson and also has a huge crush on Murphy, and she's not really sure if she's into him. And then she finds out that he did it, so now she hates him. So he discovers all of this after she figures it out. She calls him out on it. He kills himself. No, we don't know what happened to his daughter, Chloe. We're hoping maybe we'll find that out, but we don't know. Season 2, basically it goes into a deeper dive of what happened to Tyson on a level outside of what Dean did. So it talks about all the cops that were involved that are, we're still discovering some that are dirty and involved, as well as the drug side. So that's where we meet Mia, the drug lord, ma'am, the drug madam, and all of the people who work for her, including Darnell, who eventually befriends Murphy as well.
Don't forget that bald head bitch now, because she's complicated.
It's a complicated relationship between Murphy and Darnell because like they're frenemies, but then they sort of become friends, and I don't know. Mia's girlfriend or somebody's girlfriend, I don't know. She's
Mia's enforcer, the bald head chick. Her girlfriend is sent in to spy on them and act like she's in love with Jess,
right?
Because
Jess is over it.
Yes.
Yeah, so. Jess is pretty much into it, but she's not sure what to do, and I don't know. So in short summary, Mia comes for everybody at the end of the season, especially Murphy. They get dragged into her money laundering because Jess and Felix find all this money in a well or in a ditch somewhere, I don't know, and they steal it. And so that's how they get involved with her, because they're like, the only way that you're going to be able to pay me back is by laundering my drug money through your animal safe haven and training and vet clinic. So they agree to it. They don't really have a choice, so they just roll with it, and they want to get out, and they use Darnell to help figure out how to do that. Mia's not here for it. She comes into the bar and she fucks Murphy up, something awful.
I mean, she whooped that ass.
And
fucked
then
Murphy up bad.
And then she gets shot twice in the back by Jess. Jess is the most gentle soul ever, especially out of the group. Nobody really knows what happened. Jess just was being very protective.
Well, also, Jess had just gone through some shit. She was mad at them, so she was actually leaving.
Right.
And then she came back for some reason or another. Like I guess she
kind of, yeah. And she realized in that moment how much she cared about Murphy and all of them. And anyway, they dispose of Mia's body, and here we are, season 3, episode 1. Boom. Any other details in the middle, you'll just have to watch the show.
And before we get going with season 3, episode 1, we got to take care of some business.
Of course. Please
don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a button down there someplace. Hit that notification bell. Hook us up. Here's the father and daughter doing their thing. And we invite you all into our place as we chat with you about the In the Dark season 3, episode 1. Hit it.
All right. Well, season 3, episode 1 basically starts off where it ended. We get a recap flashback of what happened. And then they're basically now deciding what they're going to do with their lives, which their lives are basically done. They have to leave. They're
fucked.
They can't stay. They're being hunted. They have to go. So Jess, the veterinarian, is no more. But I think there's also a lot of revealing of like people's personal feelings on the situation in terms of like Max, who she broke up with, and then her IRS boyfriend thing.
Oh, that
was really her boyfriend, but he's also got the same condition as Murphy, and he is losing his eyesight. He hasn't told the IRS because he doesn't want to lose his job, so he's lying to them. So, I don't know. So he finds out who Jess used to date and that he was investigating her ex-boyfriend and whoever was now laundering Mia's money, and puts 2 and 2 together that it was Jess and Murphy and Felix and all of them. And basically when Murphy realizes that that's what happened and that he's put two and two together, she turns the lights off and she leaves and leaves him there in the dark. Dun, da, da.
Do you see what she did there? In the dark.
So then after that, they're basically on the run. He's vengeful because he wants to basically get Murphy on this
But
crime
also-
that he thinks that she committed. She did not murder Mia, but he doesn't
Right.
know that, and he just thinks that it's her.
But also she got him fired. See, now that's where Murphy fucked up. Murphy was angry and vengeful at him as well. And she went that extra step that when you look back with hindsight, you go, man, I sure wish I hadn't did that. So she called to drop the dime to the IRS, the treatment folks, that he was in fact losing his sight. And then I guess he had to fess up that he gets fired.
He didn't
because
really
was
fess
lying.
up. He took an eye test and he
Yeah.
failed. And
Yeah.
then they
So-
were like, oh, bitch, you gotta go.
So, so that's what really turned up the heat on his anger about not just that, he was mad with Murphy for not telling the truth. It's just that she went even further and fucked him over. So now it's like, I'm gonna fuck you over with the last little bit of sight I got, because he couldn't read shit on that chart. So not one fucking thing. So so he's feeling some kind of way right now,
Right.
towards Murphy. And unfortunately, Murphy really brought that extra anger on herself, because even Jess and they were like, well, what'd you do? Like,
Right.
she shouldn't have,
Right.
shouldn't have done that.
So
Right, Hagrid?
they basically spent this episode changing their, entire plan of action, changing their identities and kind of moving forward with what their new plan is in terms of what their life's gonna look like now. So I think there was just a lot of recaps on this in terms of like what happened and connecting dots, and basically a very vengeful ex-IRS employee, messing with your life. There's like normal Tuesday stuff.
Let's not forget that the IRS guy gets hooked up with Gene, who used to be Dean's partner,
Right.
Or Dean killed himself, and he was on it. And now Gene, he doesn't want to let a part of the thing go, and he wants to keep investigating, much to the chagrin of his higher up, his captain, who keeps telling him, leave it alone, don't worry about it, I got this covered, and all this other shit. And he doesn't want to let it go, and he's becoming more and more suspicious of why the captain doesn't want him to continue or any further into this investigation. He's taking it personally,
Right.
because he's thinking about
your
his
narcotics.
friend, right? The cop that was killed, even though his friend was dirty. And he did mention that his daughter, the guy's got a daughter, and we got to do something. So, like I said, once they magically slowly get together, it will fade into episode 2 as to the professional now relationship of Gene and
Josh.
and our IRS man.
Josh.
And I don't know how long that relationship's going to hold off, because I suspect that they may have their issues, and he doesn't put off worried about that the guy's blind. He's like, hey, we can help each other because we want to solve this.
Right.
And they both have their particular reasons for wanting to solve it.
Right.
Gene wasn't after Murphy and them initially.
No,
He was
but
more
I
about
think he got motivated by it. And I think,
right. Josh is.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pull that together, their
and I
resources.
think honestly, even though they start working together, I honestly think to some extent each of them are a means to an end for the other.
Oh yeah.
Despite whatever friendship may be blossoming out of this or may become of this, I do think that if one gets what he wants over the other, because they do have two different kind of ideals for what they want out of this,
Right.
that they will focus on that more than they will focus on anything else.
Agreed. But
So,
I mean, this gang is the anti-Scooby gang.
Yeah.
Of Murphy, Max, Jess, and Felix. And Felix is still a fucking mess. So he's always been a mess. But yeah, they're in some shit. And like I said, they're trying to get new identities. By the end of the episode, they meet somebody. It's going to cost them $30,000, which Felix is walking around with in cash in his little man bag.
You know, it was stolen drug money.
Yeah, yes.
We all have one of that somewhere.
So yeah, they're gonna buy new IDs and get passports, and then we're going to Canada, get some of that bacon. So that's pretty much where episode 1 leaves off. It was a really good episode.
It was. And for those of you who have watched stuff on our channel before, these episodes will be short and sweet just because there's not as much detail that goes into it in the same way as like with all the Marvel stuff that we've done, where there's lots of callbacks and like, remember this from the MCU, and then they did this, and this number means this, and this date is significant because of this and this and blah, blah, blah. So just in case you were wondering, like, no, we're not fucking slacking. It's just not as detailed. We'll give you a more detailed one after the opening weekend in a couple of weeks when we go see the Eternals. But for these episodes, these won't be as long as the Marvel ones. So short, sweet, to the point, done.
Now, when we did the What If, we had a watcher counter for how many times the watcher was in there. And so we don't have any of that right now. But what we do have is how many times did Murphy give up some ass? Okay, that we'll have that counter going.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a whole lot in the last 2 seasons. Murphy was giving it up like it was going out of style.
Right.
The first episode, there was no ass given up.
Right. So we'll see what happens. Right.
But,
we'll see what happens as the season progresses, and
the season evening is young, and we're sure that somebody gonna be giving up some ass, because this Murphy in this thing, and she can't go too long without fucking somebody. So
yeah. So that's episode 1.
What are we giving that episode, kid?
2 out of 2.
2 big comic, another con, thumbs up. Yes, sir. Yeah. We love the show. We love it. So it's great. And anybody who enjoys it, they love it too. It is not a hard show for any aspect. It's not a super mystery show. It's not a drug show. It's not any of that. It's a combination of all those things through the, dare I say, lens of Murphy. And she's the titular character that we follow through this, and everything flows through and from Murphy. So but it's really a good show. It's very enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. I find it's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can see when we post all the other episodes about In the Dark.
We're gonna be posting all of that shit.
So on to our show and tell. So Dad, I know you have something to show and tell about.
Yeah, as usual, you all know I wear watches. So I've got an Invicta Aviator. Ooh, an Aviator Maverick. Top Gun shit. Hope Tom Cruise will come for me. And if Tom Cruise does come for me, I hope he comes for me as the guy from Tropic Thunder, Les Grossman, and dance like that. That'd make great video.
No, he'll probably come for you, and he'll mostly be focused on Scientology. So,
well, that's okay as long as we get dancing.
You won't do that. Scientology won't allow it. Continue.
47 millimeter, high polish, stainless steel, quartz, chronograph, blue abalone dial. Look at that dial; it's beautiful, and that's what I got on today. So, there we go. You know.
All right. Well. Thanks for chiming in.
2.
Thanks for chiming in. We're super excited. We will be posting episode 2 after we've watched it. So stay tuned. And also stay tuned. Like I said, we are going out opening weekend for the movie The Eternals. So we'll go live briefly on our YouTube. I'm sorry, on our Instagram page, Comic and Other Cons. And then we will make sure that we post our review shortly after. So stay tuned.
Because we're going to be eating that bison, bitches.
That's true. We will. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you for our next episode.
You want to close it out?
Yes. That's my dad.
And that's my kid. And we are
Comic and Other Cons. Have a good one.